Hi everyone, hope you're having a good weekend. I'm going to go over what's coming up in our third week here. So we're getting to about the halfway point in the semester, and this point in the, well, not the semester, the summer term. At this point, we are shifting to focusing on the topic that you have chosen for your extended inquiry project and starting to gather sources for that via your research logs. So for each of the research logs, you're finding one, sometimes two sources. And you can see that this week you will do 4 research logs, and our focus is to try to slowly accumulate sources rather than finding them, all in one day or all in one night, and using those sources to help lead you to new sources. So hopefully you have set up your research log according to these instructions. If you haven't, you'll need to do that. It's really important that you follow the specific instructions for the headings in the research log for the Google Doc, because that will help keep your document organized and easy to navigate once you start adding more sources. And easier for you to turn into me as well. So let's take a look at research log 1. All the research logs are going to be set up in the same way. So once you get into the hang of it, they'll become a little bit easier to do. So for this source, for each research log, look for this yellow box, and that's going to tell you what you're doing for that research log and where you should be looking for your new source. So for this one, you're finding one source in our textbook, Bad Ideas About Writing, that we have not already read. So one that has not been assigned, that you think is connected to the guiding question that you proposed on Friday. So I looked over all your questions, and it looks like people are heading in the right direction. They have good open-ended questions. So you want to look for, in the table of contents here, a question that, not a question, a article that you think touches on your question in some way. So it may not hit it directly on the nose, and that's fine. It's actually sometimes really good that you don't find something that says everything you want about your topic. But look for something that you think comes at your topic from a particular angle for any reason. So I saw several people are doing something on AI. So while there may not be an article specifically about AI in this textbook, you could look for something that you think is related, that lays the foundation for what is now happening with AI. So for example, looking at plagiarism detection, machines can evaluate writing well. So you can see how those are related to AI. So anything like that, just make sure it's an article that we have not already read for our parlors. So you'll find one of those, and then you have created that heading that says research log 1 already. Make sure that you are following these heading instructions specifically. I have put these colors here just to kind of make them stand out to you, but you should not include those colors yourself. You don't need to do that. I'm just putting them there so that you can see that there is a hierarchy of different headings that you should be following. Okay. And so everything you need to know about each research log is written out, step by step. And when you are done with all that you need to include about each source, you'll want to update your table of contents. So I have a screenshot here that shows you. You're going to go to the table of contents and refresh that, and then your table of contents should look something like this. And the way that you're going to turn in each research log to me is you're going to copy the link from the table of contents. You're going to copy that and submit it to Canvas. That is going to take me directly to the research log that is due that day. So when you have more research logs, like when you do research log 2, it will be in your table of contents. and you'll be able to click on the link, you click on this, copy the link, and take me directly to that research log. And that makes everything easier for me to get through grading the research logs as efficiently as possible. Okay, so that's basically how you're setting up each research log. You'll see that research log 2 is set up that same way as well, and the subsequent ones too. You have a studio for peer review. So this studio is really important for how we approach peer review a little bit differently in the course. And you'll see how maybe it presents peer review in a way that you have not really approached it before. So usually students are relieved when they see kind of a new angle on peer review through this studio. On Tuesday, you have an optional Atkins Library workshop here. This was created by our subject librarian, Alexis Murrell. So she has some slides here that you can look through as a kind of introduction to looking for sources in the Atkins Library, as well as a video where she talks you through those slides. So I made this optional because I'm not sure, you know, some students have never used Atkins Library before and some are very familiar with it. So if this is too much of a review for you, you don't need to go through the slides. But if you have never used Atkins Library's website before, I strongly suggest reading through or watching the video. So then that same day, on Tuesday, you're going to do a peer response to your group members' research log 1. So you want to use the Google Comments feature. If you're not sure how to do that, I have a little tutorial there. But you want to focus on their summaries and their editor's commentary and leave 2 comments per member of your group. So you should be able to go to, let me pull this up. Go to your folder in Google Drive that I shared with you, and whatever group members have their research log in there, that's all you can comment on. Okay, so if somebody's missing it, there's nothing you can do about that. So comment on the ones that are there. And if you want to see who's in your group, you can go to People and Groups and see which group member you are in. So yours should be, your name should be in each of these groups, and you should have received a email invitation to your group Google folder as well. So it's really important that you're putting your research log in that folder so that your group members can see it. Okay, I'm going to go back to our calendar module here. Okay, so on Tuesday, you have another research log due. This time, you'll see that you are looking somewhere different. So you're going to be looking you can choose a source from any of these writing studies journals. So these are journals that are focused on the discipline of writing studies. All of your topics, I believe you'll be able to find something that relates to them in any of these journals. The first 2 are linked to the Atkins Library pages for those journals, so you would search there. And then the other 3 take you directly to the actual journal's website where you would search. Okay, so these 3, you'll see each of them has a little bit different way of searching within the journal, and then these 2 where you're doing the Atkins Library, what you're going to do is search within the journal. So when it pulls up, you don't want to search when you get here. You don't want to search up here because that's searching the whole library. Instead, you want to be searching within this journal. So you would type in your keywords here. And again, that library workshop has some good tips for using the keywords and narrowing down what ones are going to work for you. All right, so 1 source there for research log 2. And then on Wednesday, you'll see we're falling into a pattern of peer responding to the previous research log and posting a new research log. So research log 3, you'll be looking for 2 sources. So for the first one, you're looking for a TED Talk. Remember, it doesn't have to hit the topic right on the nose. Anything that you think helps inform or comes at your topic from an interesting angle will work. Okay, so I have linked to the topics page because I think this is a better way to find your to find a video that works for you rather than just going and searching TED. Look through, and as we said, I know several people are doing AI. They have just about any topic you can think of here. So look for some kind of topic that you think would help you understand more about the guiding question you're asking. Okay, so there's several talks about AI that would work, and yeah, so you can look at the transcripts at those too if you don't want to actually watch the video. And then you're also finding a source from a magazine called The Atlantic, and you're going to be searching within that journal through the Atkins Library as well. So again, when you get here, don't go to search anything. Search within the journal. This journal often has very readable articles that a lot of students find interesting and helpful in understanding their topic. So please pay attention to how to set this up when you have 2 sources. You'll see you'll add both of them, and then you'll add a heading 2 that has an editor's commentary. You only need to do one editor's commentary, so you don't need to do one for each. You'll talk about both those sources there. Okay, and then for Friday, you do not have a research log. Instead, you have a studio on composing processes, and then this activity, which is organizing sources for the reader's guide. So for this activity, you are going to kind of take stock of the sources that you have so far and start arranging them and seeing where there might be gaps in your research that you'll want to fill with the final research log next week. Okay, so you are going to use either cards or sticky notes, whatever you have available, scraps of paper, to start planning and moving your sources around in an order that you as an editor think would make most sense, and trying to see where you might have some gaps in your research that you'd want to fill next week. Okay, so remember, we're working towards the reader's guide with all of our research. You don't need to work ahead. Focus on turning in what needs to be turned in by the end of each day, and everything will come together by the end of our summer term if you're just following each step day by day. All right, so reach out with any questions, and I hope you all have a great week.